Good morning, students. I welcome you all for today's session. I hope you and your family members are all doing fine. In the last session, students, we did the if you remember, we did the poem, that is the sixth poem, No Men Are Foreign. And in today's session, we are going to be covering this chapter of yours of Beehive, that is chapter 9, Bond of Love. Okay, students, so I would like you all to be ready. Open up your Beehive on page 113 with the chapter 9, that is Bond of Love, as you can see on the screen. So let us start. As you can see, now this is a very interesting chapter, and this chapter is about a bear, a pet that a family has, and what challenges they had to face, and how they were able to overcome those challenges. Now, as the starting says, can there be love and friendship between human beings and wild animals? Let's read a fascinating account of an orphaned sloth bear that was rescued by the author. Now, here orphaned means that the bear lost its parents. Sloth bear inhabits forested areas, including the tropical rainforest of India and grasslands at lower elevations. At lower elevations का मतलब है यहाँ पे not in the hills, but they live at the below the hill levels on the land area. Sloth bears have very shaggy hair and long muzzles. Muzzles का मतलब होता है mustache यहाँ पे मूछें. Using their claws to dig, they can use their lips to form a tube which can go deep in the ground or into hard to reach areas like dead trees for their food. Their main food is termites. You can hear them suck up their food from several feet away. Now here, students, termites means it is a kind of ant which lives in the which attacks the wood. Okay, termites also attack in our homes, and then we have to do the whole process of removing the wood and again getting it replaced. So those are called termites, जिसे हम स्योंक भी कहते हैं. Okay, so let's begin. I will begin. Now before I proceed further, students, I would like to tell you, as the chapter is lengthy, so the chapter is going to be divided into two videos. So this is video 1, and in the video 2 we'll be covering up the next part of the chapter. So we're starting with video 1, paragraph 1. I will begin with Bruno, my wife's pet sloth bear. I got him for her by accident. 2 years ago, we were passing through a sugarcane field near Mysore. People were driving away from the wild pigs from the fields by shooting at them. Some were shot and some escaped. We thought that everything was over when suddenly a sloth bear came out panting in the hot sun. So actually what happens with the author is the author had gone to the sugarcane fields, and they were just visiting over there, and what they see is that yes, people were trying to drive away, people were trying to push away the wild pigs which were trying to destroy their fields. So during that time, what happened is one of them, they yes, all of a sudden when they were shooting, so a bear came out in the hot sun. Now I will not shoot a sloth bear wantingly, but unfortunately the poor beast, one of my companions, did not feel that way about it and promptly shot the bear on the spot. So wantingly, the meaning is given for no good reason. So all of a sudden what happens is, looking at the bear, so one of the companion or friends of the author shot the bear. As we watched the fallen animal, we were surprised to see that the black fur on its back moved and left the prostrate body. Prostrate here means lying on the ground facing downwards. Then we saw it was moving on to the next page 114. A baby bear that had been riding on its mother's back when the sudden shot had killed her. The little creature ran around its a prostrate parent making a pitiful noise. I ran up to it to attempt a capture. It scooted into the sugarcane field. Scooted means ran away quickly. Following it with my companions, I was at last able to grab it by the scurf of its neck. Scurf का यहाँ पे meaning है the hair of the neck. While it snapped and tried to scratch me with its long hooked claws. Snap means trying to escape over here. When we put it in one of the gunny bags we had brought, and when I got to Bangalore, I duly presented it to my wife. She was delighted. She at once put a colored ribbons around its neck, and after discovering the cub was a boy, she christened it Bruno. Christian means gave it name as Bruno. Bruno soon took to drinking milk from bottle. It was it was but a step further, and within very few days, he started eating and drinking everything else. And everything is the right word, for he ate porridge made from any ingredients. Porridge का मतलब यहाँ पे students होता है दलिया. Okay, vegetables, fruits, nuts, meat, especially pork, that is the meat of the pig, curry and rice regardless of contaminants and chilies. Now here contaminants means spices. Bread, egg, chocolates, sweet pudding, ice cream, etc., etc., etc. Now why the author is using etc., 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 because it ate everything, okay, and it could not be named. As for drink, milk, tea, coffee, lime juice, aerated water, buttermilk, beer, alcoholic liquor, and in fact anything liquid. It all went down with relish. With relish means with enjoyment. So the bear enjoyed eating and drinking all these things. The bear became very attached to our two Alsatian dogs and to all the children of the tenants living in our bungalow. He was left quite free in his younger days and spent his time in playing, running into the kitchen, and going to sleep in our beds. One day, an accident befell him. Befell him means happened to him, or he got caught in an accident. I put down poison, barium carbonate, to kill the rats and mice that had got into my library. Bruno entered the library as he often did. He ate some of the poison. Paralysis set in to the extent that he could not stand on his feet, but he dragged himself on his stumps to my wife. Stumps here means that he was trying to drag himself on his paws, on his claws. Okay, wife, who called me. I guessed what had happened. Off I rushed into the car to the vet's residence. A case of poisoning, tame bear, barium carbonate. What to do? Moving to the next page, students. Out came his medical books, and a feverish reference to index began. What poison did you say, sir? Barium carbonate. Ah, yes. Barium. Salts. Ah. Barium carbonate. Symptoms. Paralysis. Treatment. Injection of. Just a minute, sir. I will bring a syringe and a medicine. A dash back to the car. Bruno still found floundering. Floundering again here means struggling to move because it was attacked by paralysis. About on its stumps, but clearly weakening rapidly. Some vomiting, heavy breathing, and heavy flanks and gaping mouth. Heavy flanks means heavy breathing here. Trying to breathe very hard. Gaping mouth here means again with open mouth. Hold him, everybody. In goes the hypodermic. Bruno squeals. 10 cc of the antidote enters his system without a drop being wasted. Hypodermic here means, students, it's a long needle used to give injection under the skin. 10 minutes. So what happens is 10 minutes later, condition unchanged. Another 10 cc injected. 10 minutes later, breathing less, Sternness means noisy breathing stops and he suddenly returns to his normal breathing. Bruno can move his arms and legs a little, although he cannot stand yet. 30 minutes later, Bruno gets up and has a great feed. He looks at us disdainfully. Disdainfully means in a very shocking way, or in a very upset way, as much as to say, what's barium carbonate to a big black bear like me? Bruno is still eating. Another time he found nearly 1 gallon of old engine oil, which I had drained from my sump of Studbaker. Studbaker is the name of the car here, and was keeping as a weapon against the inroads of termites. He promptly danked the lot, but it had no ill effects whatever. The months rolled on, and Bruno had grown many times in size. He was when he came. He had equalled the Alsatians in height and had even outgrown them, but was just as sweet, just as mischievous, just as playful. And he was very fond of us all. Above all, he loved my wife, as she loved him too. She had changed his name from Bruno to Baba, a Hindustani word signifying small boy, and he could do few tricks too. At the command, Baba, rustle, or Baba, box, he vigorously tackled anyone who came forward for a rough and tumble. Vigorously means in a very aggressive way. Okay, tackled means he handled uh, anyone who came towards him in a very aggressive way. Rough and tumble means he was ready to wrestle with them, fight with them. Give him a stick and say, Baba, hold gun. And he pointed the stick at you. Ask him, Baba, where's the baby? And he immediately produced and cradled affectionately a stump of wood which he had carefully concealed in his straw bed. Concealed means hidden. But because of the tenant's children, poor Bruno or Baba had to be kept chained most of the time. So students, I'm going to be ending your video 1 here. In the video 2, we'll start with paragraph 13.